Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to G Bear's Off Gridways, a homestead in the desert. Yeah, I'm out here with the dogs. They've already had their supper and their after dinner chew, and they're all just ready for doing a little playfulness before bed. Something I did notice today was, a couple of things is Susie Q over there is putting on some weight because I make sure she eats every day. The guys sometimes try to nudge her out of the eating group, but I stand there and I make sure I move them over to another section of the food and let her get her fill too. So she's looking a lot better at that. But I did come out because I was working in the battery room today for battery services, and I was being bothered by some flies in there. It was hard to get work done, so I went back in and I came out with the fly swatter. And Susie Q was laying down like right here, sleeping. And she picked her head up and she saw me with the fly swatter, and she got up and took off that way with her tail between her legs and her head down, and just kept looking back at me. So I got the feeling that somebody was beating her with something, and that's how she ended up out here in the desert. They took her out here and dumped her. But she comes along, she's getting better, and she really trusts me now, so she'll lay down and roll over on her back. Except if I've got something in my hand, that still seems to bother her. You see that fly go by? Little idiot. I was putting up with those earlier today. All right, so today was battery maintenance day. I got most of it all done. I got to do some more. One thing I noticed was that little PWM controller I had here had gone bad. So it's up there on the shelf now, and I replaced it with this hybrid MPPT. But it's just running a couple of the Harbor Freight solar panels, so it's just fine. I don't know if you can read the gauge there. Yeah, 12.6. That's right in with all these 12.7, 12.8. Right in with the same 12.6 up there. So anyway, I cleaned up the batteries down there a little bit, and I had to do some rewiring because of corrosion. I was using these alligator clips, and as you can see, they just corroded, and the spring is out of them, and I got a couple of them there that are, the whole front of them is just corroded off. So those things don't work very well, so I had to put some eyelets on there, and I found a pack that I had bought a long time ago, and I got those changed. So let me put some tools away here that I'm not using anymore. So I cleaned up a lot of the connections, but I still got to do a little bit more polish down on that one and on this one. And what I use is my Dremel with a little brass wire brush on there, and then I use the vacuum cleaner, and as I'm grinding, I suck up the extra dust that's being flying around, so I'm not breathing that. And then I'll take that out, dig a hole, and I'll bury that acid dust, if you will, and get rid of it. But yeah, all nice and clean. And I got my 921 up there under 2023 maintenance record, so I'll remember when to reservice these or get back into another service. And one thing I wanted to mention, the spaces between here, that's important in your battery banks. I don't care what kind of battery you're using, always leave a space in between, 1/2 inch to 3/4, somewhere in between that size. You want airflow in between there, because the batteries do get hot, when they're under load. And then of course you got the summer and it's already hot outside, so you want to definitely make sure you got airflow around your batteries. I got all the batteries get gaps between them. So anyway, that's how I did my service out here. I salute you. I did my service. So anyway, that's it. And a couple of the batteries were really low. Look at how this mirror corroded. A bunch of the batteries, or not a bunch, but these two and these two were a little on the low side on the water, just barely covering the plates. So I used a lot of water to fill those back up, and I got all 3 of these gallons I had here are gone, and the filler is empty. And I still need a little bit more water, but it's within 1/4 of an inch of full on that last battery. So I'll go to town tomorrow to check my mail. I'll pick up another gallon of distilled water, and I'll top that one off. And I might even get out here with a little bit of 409 and clean some of this overrun spill off of the batteries. Just make them look prettier. Of course, when they look ugly like this, if somebody came here and said, hey, let's steal his batteries, they look at them, they go, oh, those aren't worth anything. So they leave them alone. I mean, sometimes ugly is good. You know what I mean? So anyway, they'll get a good service charge tomorrow. I think they're due any time now to do an equalization. And an equalization is where high voltage, like 14.5 or 14.8, is put into the batteries to heat them all up and boil them, the whole group all at once. And that helps equalize them. Now normally you want to take all the caps off the batteries when doing that. Don't leave the caps on them. But this is an add-on battery bank down here. These are the big Trojans, the L16E series, and except for these last two, they were still an L series, but I think they're got a different designation number. They're still the same power as the rest of them. Those are just designed specifically for solar systems. I bought all of those used over at California Battery, and they've almost 2 years now. They're still going strong, so no need to worry about them. It was worth the money. I did have to change the bolt in that last battery there. You can see where I got the yellow connectors down there and a yellow connector over here. And one of them wasn't making contact when I got inside the solar controller I have right on the other side of this wall, so I can look and see what I've got for voltage without having to come outside. It was showing that the battery wasn't connected. So I had to disconnect everything from that solar controller and come out here and find out what was going on. And I found it was the positive wire wasn't making contact. So I put a new bolt in there and added an extra nut to it, and now it works. And that works so the extra nut is so I don't have to disconnect all of the wiring just to add a wire or take a wire off. I also moved my BLS up higher. Let me get in there and I'll show you. My battery lifesaver used to be way down there, and I moved it up here. And you can't hardly see it, but that light on there is green, and that means that it is working. So is it green? you know what? I'm not getting a contact on that one either. And I should be. Oh yeah, it is green. I can see it. All right. So anyway, that's what I did today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I was going to add one thing about batteries yesterday when I was doing the inverter video. When choosing whether you want to go with what voltage for your batteries, I'm doing a 12-volt system here. These are all 6-volt batteries, and tie two 6-volts together to make a 12-volt. Some people go with 12-volt batteries, and they either have a 24-volt, 36-volt, or 48-volt. And that would require either two 12s, three 12s, or four 12s. And my neighbor has four 12s for a 48-volt system. And the thing about that is he had one battery go bad. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I could do mine in a 48-volt system. I'd have to change my equipment over. But if I did that, if that one battery went bad, I have to take all four of those out of the system. You see what I mean? I'm going to lose 48 volts. Now, with a 12-volt system like I've got, if I have one battery like that one go bad, I have to take that one and that one out. I lose 12 volts out of the system. Okay, so that's something to consider on your choosing what voltage you want your battery bank to be. Because one, it takes multiple batteries to bring you up to that voltage, which is, you know, it's got its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages because, like I said, one battery out of four goes bad, you lose all four. You got to take that four out of the system. And if one battery in that four is bad, the whole system is bad. The whole system will draw down to that bad battery at nighttime when there's no charge going in. So remember that. And let me close this door. If I don't close it, I get critters deciding that they want to move in, especially now that it's cooling off this time of year. All right, everybody, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. This is G Bear reminding you, thumbs up's down there. Don't forget to share and subscribe. G Bear signing off.